Today I'm going to dry throw a closed form on the potter's wheel and trim it in a thrown clay chuck. I start out by smearing a little bit of clay on the wheel head, pouring some water on it, and using that water and clay to attach a plaster bat. Here I'm centering about 6 pounds of clay, pulling it up and down, getting it nice and centered. And I'm using the slip that's generated from centering that to pull it up. And now once it's pulled up into a basic form, I'm simply using the surface tension between my fingers and the clay to further refine the form. And because it's going to be a closed form, I want to define the inside volume by throwing it out from the inside. You don't just want to throw a tall cylinder and stretch it out to make a shape like this. You have to throw this shape from the beginning in this rounded, curved form. So if you notice, I'm using no water now. My hands are wet, but that is just a little bit of slip residue. And I will use a sponge delicately to define the lip. And here you can see it's simply the surface tension between my fingers and the clay that is stretching this out. And I detail it out a little bit with my pin tool, and I use my leather chamois to refine and smooth out the rim. And I'm being very particular about finishing this so that it has the right shape and curvature that I want. I take a wooden knife, trim some excess off, and pop it off the wheel with my knife, and there you have it. So it's at least a day later. I'm going to trim it now. I'm throwing a clay chuck, which is probably 2.5 or 3 pounds, and I want to throw that so that it has a gentle curve on the inside that matches the outside of my closed form face as much as possible. Centering these is always the hard part. You want to get the bottom parallel to the wheel head. Usually takes a little finagling. And I'm going to preliminarily trim it and then slap it into place to get it so it's centered. And so you can see what I'm trimming here. This is slightly wet leather hard clay. I like to trim when the clay is pliable. It enables you to gently push on the outside surface to see what kind of give your clay has. It enables you to determine how thick it is. And I'm finishing off the foot here, and then I'm going to put my initials on it with an old dull Bic pen that I've been using for 30 years. Cleaning it up, and there is a closed form orb vase dry thrown on the potter's wheel.